Hello and welcome to the quick start video for the ASL 5000 breathing simulator. When we launch the ASL 5000 software, we see some menu choices. In the full choice menu, you can either use the ASL connected through Ethernet or RS-232. What we're going to do today, though, is just look at it in demonstration mode. So there are two types of individuals that we're trying to focus on today. One would be the simulation facilitator or sim jockey, the person that needs to just understand how to apply the different lung states within a simulation. And the second would be more of the simulation creator, or someone who would write the simulations or create the lung models. So let's talk about if you are a simulation facilitator. Well, you need to know how to turn the simulation on or start the lung. And that's done through the central runtime display. You can access all of the windows in the ASL software in the tabs that are located above here. So the simulation on switch is here, and what we'll do is activate whatever simulation lung model I have currently in the buffer. If I turn that on, it then asks me where to place the data. So we're doing two things here. We're activating the lung model that we currently have ready to go, and I'll go into that in a moment. And then secondly, it's asking us, where do you want to place that data that you collect? And we have the ability to simply change the default here to something like test. And we can also have the ability to save waveforms. So this way we can save everything for a full debrief later. And once you click OK, the simulation will begin. And you see up here in the status menu that it's starting to run, and you'll see the waveforms that it creates. We have flows, pressures, and volumes. So now we can start to get a little bit of an idea of what the type of lung model sitting behind here is being activated. And what we see here is we see a muscle pressure, inspiratory effort here, and resultant flows and volumes. So whatever lung model this is, we have a resultant 400 milliliters of tidal volume with an effort of about a -5 centimeters of water. Now if I'm a simulation facilitator, my goal is to activate whichever lung model should be activated during my simulation at the right time. The best way to do that is through our interactive control panel. When you start the interactive control panel, it gives you back all of the parameters that were scripted. And in this case, we see our passive lung parameters, that is resistance and compliance, right here. So we have a resistance of 5 and a compliance of 100. And these can very easily be changed by either moving dials or simply typing in the values. And you'll see a resultant change in the waveforms due to changing the values of resistance and compliance. And you see here the volume and the flows have decreased just a little bit. The other part of the interactive panel that you want to be aware of is the patient library. The patient library is really where you should be living if you're in a simulation. This allows you to pre-script and save your lung models in an area so that all you have to do is click the file and have that disease state or lung model apply to the simulation. So if I click adult passive and I go back to my central runtime, you'll see that within one breath, now the lung becomes passive. Now we still have a resistance and a compliance sitting behind it, and we can view that resistance and compliance, but our effort is 0. I can go back to my interactive and simply click normal again. And this will cause the lung to start to breathe based on that normal condition or whatever is created in that script or that model. Now, how do we do that? This is for the second person that says, well, I want to understand how I create these types of lung models. And that's done through our script editor. You just click the script editor tab, and you have the ability to select scripts here or go into manual scripting in order to actually begin to edit a particular file. Now, these files or these lung models have an extension .vr3, and they're called variable files. And if you remember, you saw these in the interactive panel. What these do is these represent a specific state and a specific lung model. These files can be thought of as the ingredients to a full recipe. What I mean by that is in our script editor, we can add these files one after the other and simply keep adding them infinitely so that we can go in, edit them, change them, string them all together, and create what we call a script. So a script is the recipe, the files are the ingredients. So for example, here we have 1,000 breaths of this occurring, whatever this normal healthy patient is, and one breath of a pause and then another breath of a pause. So that's pointing to a specific file and then asking it to be run whenever we run our simulation. Again, this is a little bit different than what we did here, because here in our interactive panel, we're just saying, I want to run this file or this lung model, and I want it to keep running forever until I change it or until I click something else. And in order to go in and begin to edit this, I would double click that, and it gives me a step by which I can browse to some other ones or simply click edit to begin to change the parameters like resistance, compliance, and effort. In order to do that, I would refer you to our longer version of our tutorial if you were interested in seeing a little bit more in depth on how we create those lung models. Thank you.